everyone, this is Rachel. Thanks for clicking on my video. And y'all, I came in today to have a frank discussion about respecting our elders and how today's generation is or is not living up to that. Now, I'm pretty sure that you guys have heard about the little conflict between Seven Stars and Olivia the Oracle. Now, in the video that I watched, Seven Stars really went in on Olivia the Oracle. And it makes me think about not just her, but more so this generation. So this is not directly pointed at Seven Stars because she is not alone in this. And in this way that the younger generation feels towards the older generation. I have even heard some people from the younger generation say they don't care how old you are, you can get it too. Now, y'all, the reason why I have a problem with that is because I was not raised like that, and I have adult children myself, and I did not raise my children like that. I actually have a son that's around Seven Stars' age. My son is 32. And I did not raise them to disrespect their elders. But let me just talk about that for a little bit. We, as the older generation, and I include myself in it because I am 54 years old, we bear some responsibility in the way these young people either respect or disrespect their elders because who raised them? We did. And this is what we get. I don't understand when you don't have a respect for someone who has paid their dues, who has lived long enough to have some knowledge. Now, let me just say this. When I was younger, just like what went on with Seven Stars and Olivia the Oracle, where an older person is trying to drop some knowledge on me. There have been times when I was younger that, I didn't like what the older person said. I didn't appreciate what they told me, and so on and so forth. But something in me, and the only thing that I can come up with that it was, something in me would not allow me to disrespect them. Now, they may be able to tell on my face that I didn't like what they said, but to verbally stand there in their face and be disrespectful, I could not do it, and I still can't do it to this day. I am 54 years old, and I have never disrespected my mother, her siblings, my grandmother, grandfather, anyone in my family that is considered an elder. That even extends outside of my family to other people that are considered elders because that's just the way that I was raised. It is something that is ingrained into the fiber of who I am. But this younger generation, I think that we as their parents, when we were raising them, we let them get away with a little bit too much. And this is the end result of it. I have been around young people and they have told me stories of how they got an elder person told and they called them this bitch and that bitch and all of that. And sometimes I'm standing there and I am beyond shocked. I am beyond shocked. Let me give y'all a little story. I remember years ago when my children first met their stepmother. And they did not like her one bit, and she did not like them. And they would come back from visits with their dad and tell me how mean she was to them, and that they just simply did not like her. Now, at the time when this was all occurring, my son was probably who in his early 20s, and my daughter was probably 13, 14, somewhere along the lines of that. And I remember my son saying that the next time she said something to him, what all he was going to say to her. And in that moment, y'all, I could have given him license to let it rip because they were being mistreated from what I'm understanding. I wasn't there, but other people who witnessed some of the stuff that was going on or that the stepmother was saying to them, they felt it was disrespectful. And these were other adults. But in that moment, I realized that that was a teachable moment for my son. And he was looking to me basically for an answer on whether it was okay to disrespect her. And this is what I told him. I said, I know you don't like her. I know that. It's obvious that you don't like her and she doesn't like you. But while you are in her home, I want you, if you don't mind, to try your best to respect her. You don't have to lower yourself to her standards. If you don't like her, don't go there anymore. But I do not want you to be disrespectful because that is not how I raised you. I said the same thing to my daughter. Now let me tell y'all why I said it. Because even now when I tell y'all what I told them, it hurts me that I had to tell them to act that way when by all rights they should have been able to let it rip because she was being mean to them. But how do you teach a young person that it's okay to disrespect one adult, one elder, but it's not okay to disrespect all? Was I supposed to tell him, yes, you go over there and you cuss that bitch out whenever she say something to you, you have my permission to cuss her out? But then when there was another adult or another elder that said something out the way to him, how was I to tell him that it was not okay to just go ham on every elder that you dislike something they said to you or did to you? You walk a thin line when you're raising kids because sometimes you're teaching them things because it's the right way and you may not necessarily deep down in your heart agree. Because honestly, now that all of that has passed and I'm past that teaching stage, I wish I could have told him, go ahead, cuss that bitch out. If she's disrespectful to you, then it's okay for you to be disrespectful to her. And that whole thing where respect is earned, it's not a given. I could have said that to him, but that to me that would have been teaching him the wrong way and teaching my daughter the right way. The wrong way, I'm sorry. The thing is, I had to teach them the right way first and then come back and explain to them, yes, I know you were right. Your feelings are valid. I understand what you're feeling. And now that they're older, I can talk to them more about that particular instance when that was happening to them. So, y'all, that brings me to the whole thing with Seven and Olivia, Miss Olivia. I understand what Seven said when she mentioned that she didn't agree with everything that Miss Olivia said. I understand that maybe some things that Miss Olivia said, Seven took offense to it. But y'all, the disrespect though, I'm sorry. As a parent, I would be ashamed if one of my children stood somewhere and spoke to or about an elder in that manner that Seven spoke to and about Miss Olivia. It was the most disrespectful display of a younger person basically, tearing it up with an older person. that I've seen in a long time. And I know a lot of younger people are not going to agree with this. But what I will say to them is one day you will understand why people my age believe that what Seven did was totally disrespectful. Because one certainty in life is that you're going to grow older and you're going to be in a position to be dropping some knowledge on someone younger. And they're going to do exactly what you did. They're not going to want to hear it. And then they're going to tell you off and call you all kinds of bitches and hoes and old bitches and, talk about, just you being elderly. And you're going to feel some type of way. And you're going to think back to the person that you were. You're not going to say to yourself, well, it was okay for them to cuss me out because, they have a right to. You're not going to think that. Because with age comes wisdom. And that is very cliche, but it is true. With age comes wisdom. I know when I was younger, there were a lot of my elders that I did not agree and I did not appreciate things they said. But I held my tongue. And I held it because my mother and my parents and all of the adults around me taught me what it meant to be respectful. And being respectful didn't take anything from me. It just showed that I was raised right. Now, I'm going to tell you something to end this story about my children. After the whole thing with their stepmother, there were some people from out of town, some older people that witnessed the interactions between my children and their stepmother. And one thing that I'll never forget those people said to me was, you can tell that your children were really raised well. And I said, why do you say that? They said, because if she had spoken to me the way she spoke to your children, I don't think that I would have been able to, I guess, not call her bitches and hoes and, take it there with them. They said, but we could tell that your children were upset, but they never went there. They walked away. And that told me that all of those talks that I had with them over the years, all of those times when I told them, yeah, I know you're upset, but that's still an elder, it stuck with them. In that moment that they were having a problem with their stepmother, they came to a crossroads. They could have taken the path that I taught them about being respectful, or took the other path and say, to hell with what my mom said, this, I'm about to get this bitch together. They could have said that, but they didn't. And for that, I'm thankful. It lets me know that, inside they're good people and they heard everything that I said. Now, I'm not saying that younger people have to agree with anything that older people say. You don't have to. But think about respect. Right now, I have uncles and aunts, and I'm 54 years old. And to this day, I've never disrespected them. When I feel myself about to slip up, I will walk away. I will hang up the phone. I will avoid them because I do not want that on my conscience where I've stood up and cursed out someone that I should be respecting, you know? And again, I know that a lot of young people nowadays, they don't think like that. But I don't necessarily throw the blame totally at their feet because someone raised them. Someone didn't correct them when they were doing wrong or saying wrong, or they felt like their feelings were more important than respect, you know? We all have someone that is older than us, that just the fact that they've lived that long, we should respect them, you know? I don't know about this generation, y'all. I don't understand them. I did my best with the two that I have, and God knows they're not perfect, but I did a lot of talking to them when they were growing up. I wasn't the type of parent that believed in a lot of spanking. I didn't like it when I got older, so I said that I'm going to start off by talking to my kids. Now, I'm not saying that they didn't get their asses beat every once in a while. They did. But because I guess I started off when they were younger, sitting down, having conversations with them, give and take, not me always preaching at them with the ability to, speak their minds within reason, because this whole conversation is about respect. But I'm glad I did that, because now there are times when I am with them that those lessons that I was teaching them, I can clearly see that a lot of them stuck. And as a parent, that makes me proud. It makes me feel that all those years of trying to be a good parent was worth it, because these kids, when it comes to respect, they turned out the way that I wanted them to. Um, I'd like to know what you guys think of it. Now, I know a lot of our younger people are not going to get this. Some of you will, and some of you won't. You will hail from that camp that says you don't care how old anyone is, they can get it too. But think about what you're saying. One day, you will be that elder, and you will remember these conversations, the meaning of respect, and you will be in no position to tell a young person that they're being disrespectful because you did it. Think about that. And with that, y'all, this is the end of my video. I would love to know what you guys think of it. Think of this topic. Did you think that while 7 stars did not agree with Olivia, there was a better way to do it? Um, I I just think that there was. I'm a little bit older than Miss Olivia. Miss Olivia, I believe, is 47 or 48. Hell, I'm 54 years old. And I'm going to say this, my children do not even let their friends be disrespectful. If the friends slip up and curse in front of me. Now, we're talking about a 32-year-old man, because my son is 32, and a 24-year-old daughter. They don't do it. They just don't. And the only thing I could think it is the way that they were brought up. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all of this. Whose side did you fall on? 7 stars? Or do you think that she should have shown a little bit more restraint and a lot more respect? Leave it down in the comments. I appreciate you watching. You guys take care now. Bye-bye.